The first time I saw the train that doesn't stop, I thought it was about to die. It came screaming through the station at 2:43 in the morning. Lights blazing, horn silent, windows full of faces that were not moving. And when it passed me, every single head inside turned at the exact same time and looked straight at me. If you're listening right now, don't skip this part, because what happened next still doesn't make sense. I almost convinced myself it was a dream, but 3 other people saw it too, and one of them is missing now. Before I go any further, like and subscribe to Unblinking, because this story only gets darker from here, and you won't want to miss what that train does next. I work nights at a small train station outside a quiet Midwestern town. Nothing ever happens here after midnight except freight trains and the occasional delayed passenger line. The job is mostly paperwork, coffee, and fighting the urge to fall asleep under buzzing fluorescent lights. That night was colder than usual. The kind of cold that makes the air feel metallic. The digital clock on the wall flicked from 2:42 to 2:43 a.m. Right on schedule. I expected the southbound freight to pass through without stopping. Instead, the ground began to vibrate in a way I had never felt before. Not the normal rumble of steel on rails, but a deep, shaking pulse like something enormous was dragging itself forward. The lights above me flickered once. 10 steady 8. I stepped out onto the platform with my jacket pulled tight. The tracks ahead were empty, stretching into darkness under dim station lamps. Then I saw a glow in the distance that wasn't listed on any schedule. 2 white headlights appeared far down the track. They were too bright, almost blue at the edges, and didn't T-sway like normal train lights. They stayed perfectly still as the rest of the shape grew behind them. I checked the system tablet. No incoming trains were scheduled at that hour. No emergency reroutes. No unscheduled freight. The headlights kept getting closer, but I couldn't hear a horn. Every train that passes this station blasts its horn twice. Before entering, this one made no sound at all. When it finally reached the platform, the noise hit me like a wall. Metal screamed against metal. Sparks flew from the wheels, and wind whipped across my face so hard I had to shield my eyes. But the train never slowed down. It tore past me at full speed. The cars were older, dark green with faded numbers, like something from the 1950s. The windows were lit from inside, with a dull yellow glow. That's when I saw the passengers. Every window held at least one person sitting perfectly still. Their skin looked pale under the light, almost gray. No one blinked. No one moved. They just stared forward as the train rushed by. Then, as if someone gave a silent command, every single head snapped toward me. Hundreds of faces turned in unison, their eyes locked onto mine. I stumbled backward, nearly falling off the platform. The air felt colder as the last car sped past, and just like that, it was gone. The tracks were empty again, no fading lights in the distance. No echo of the engine. It was like it had vanished into thin air. The only proof it had been there was the shaking in my hands, and the way the station lights were still flickering. I rushed inside and checked the cameras. The platform footage showed me standing alone in the dark. No train passed through. I replayed it 3 times. The timestamp read to 43 a.m. Nothing but empty tracks. My coworker Daniel came in at 3 o'clock for the shift change. I told him what I saw, expecting him to laugh. Instead, he went quiet. He said, "You saw it too." My stomach dropped. He had seen the same train 2 weeks earlier. He described the old green cars, the silent horn, the way the passengers turned their heads together. He said one more thing that I hadn't noticed. The last car has no windows, and something moves inside it. That night, we searched old records in the storage room, dust-covered binders stacked back to the 1940s. One file made Daniel freeze. There had been a derailment in 1957. A passenger train heading south had lost control near our station. Every person on board died. The strange part wasn't the accident itself. It was the time listed in the report, 2:43 a.m. The train number matched an old line discontinued decades ago. Witnesses at the time claimed the train never slowed down before the crash. It just kept going. But here's the part that still keeps me awake. The crash site was miles north of our station, which means it never should have passed through here at all. Over the next week, I couldn't stop thinking about it. I started dreading 2:43 a.m. Every shift felt longer than the last. Daniel joked about setting up lawn chairs to watch for it again. I could tell he wasn't really joking. Curiosity has a way of beating fear. On the 7th night, it came back. The same vibration in the ground. The same flicker in the lights. This time, Daniel stood beside me on the platform. We both watched the empty tracks. And then the headlights appeared. He whispered, "It's real." The train roared through just like before. Faces in every window. When the heads turned toward us, Daniel didn't look away. He stared right back at them, and then he did something I will never forgive myself for not stopping. As the last car passed, he ran toward it. He reached out his hand, as if he could grab onto the metal. For a split second, the door on the final car slid open. Inside was complete darkness. Not the absence of light, but something thicker, something moving. Daniel screamed. The train kept going, and he was gone. No body on the tracks. No blood. No sound except fading metal. The cameras again showed nothing. Just me standing alone, reaching toward empty air. Police thought I was in shock. Daniel was listed as a missing person. No signs of struggle. No explanation. But every night at 2:43, I still hear the vibration under my feet. Even when I'm off shift, even when I'm home. Last night, I decided to follow it. I drove along the old service road that runs beside the tracks. When the time hit 2:43, the headlights appeared again. The train moved impossibly fast. I pushed my car to keep up. It felt like chasing something that didn't belong in this world. Then, ahead of me, the train slowed. Not at a station, not at a crossing. It stopped in the middle of nowhere. The doors opened, one by one. The passengers stepped off. They moved stiffly, like puppets pulled by invisible strings. And when the last one stepped down, I saw Daniel among them. His face was pale. His eyes were empty, and he did not blink. He turned toward me slowly. The others followed, all of them staring. The train doors began to close again. Daniel took one step toward my car, then another. I slammed the gas pedal and drove. In my rearview mirror, I saw the train vanish. The field behind me was empty. I don't work at the station anymore. I moved states. I changed my number. But 3 nights ago, I got an email. No subject line, no sender name, just a video attachment. It showed a train platform. The timestamp read to 2:43 a.m. The camera angle faced the tracks, and there I was, standing alone. Behind me, something pulled into the station. The headlights flared bright, and the video froze. If you're still listening on Unblinking, I need you to think carefully. Have you ever waited at a station, late at night, and felt like something was off? Have you ever heard a train pass that wasn't on the schedule? Because the thing about the train that doesn't stop isn't that it's fast. It's that it's always on time, and it never misses anyone who's watching. Tonight is the anniversary of the 1957 crash. It's almost 2:43 a.m. as I record this, and I can feel the ground beginning to shake again. If this story reaches you before that time, leave a comment and tell me what you would do. Would you run, or would you stay and look inside that last car? Share this with someone who takes late-night trains, and subscribe to Unblinking. Because if I don't upload again after tonight, you'll know exactly what happened when the train finally decided to stop for me.